God of War 6 is seemingly Santa Monica Studios' next big title, as we've got tons of brand new reliable leaks and rumors about God of War 6 we're going to break down right now. It all starts off with the setting of God of War 6, which is seemingly going to be the Egyptian mythology. Now, the most significant recent development comes from Daniel RPK behind his paywall, who reports that Sony is currently casting Middle Eastern actors for an unknown AAA game, as he also points out that it's likely going to be the next God of War that explores Egyptian mythology. Now, we also have Tom Henderson at Insider Gaming, one of the gaming's most reliable leakers, previously reported that God of War 6 will not only take place in Egyptian mythology, but that Kratos will wield a new signature weapon, a giant curved Egyptian sword specifically called a khopesh. Tom Henderson also stated in the Insider Gaming podcast that I think that Kratos this time has like an Egyptian sword, like the curved Egyptian sword. This would mark a significant evolution into Kratos' arsenal. In the original Greek trilogy, his signature weapons was the Blade of Chaos. Norse era introduced the Leviathan axe, and now the Egyptian era appears to give him the khopesh, which is a weapon that perfectly fits this mythological setting. Now, the Egyptian setting isn't just fan speculation or recent rumor, it was actually Santa Monica Studios' original vision for the 2018 God of War revival before they pivoted to the Norse mythology. As reported by the Game Post and Games Radar, creative director Cory Barlog revealed the initial pitch. I think the first pitch I gave was that we wouldn't even know what was happening, so it was Kratos walking through the desert, because we were in my mind still doing Egypt initially, wind, sand blowing all over the place as he's kind of crawling through and then kind of stands up over a dune and checks out this really fantastic ancient city. Sony Santa Monica ultimately chose the North mythology for 2018 soft reboot, but Egypt clearly remained in their plans for the future. Moving from Greek to Norse to Egypt mythology creates a natural progression for the franchise, exploring different pantheons and cultures while keeping Kratos' journey fresh. Now, it also seemed Christopher Judge, the actor behind Kratos, also wants to go to Egypt too. Adding another layer of credibility, Insider Gaming reported that Christopher Judge at the MCM London Comic Con stated that traveling to Egypt will be a completion of my circle, referencing his iconic role as TLC in Stargate, which I know I may have butchered that name. Judge diplomatically added, but whatever is decided, before stating if there is another game, he has no doubt that no matter what pantheon it is, it will be great. Still, his personal connection to Egyptian setting adds an interesting dimension to this project. Now, quick endgame spoilers for Ragnarok. As we look at where Kratos' story left off, Ragnarok's ending set up freedom, as it saw Kratos, Atreus and Freya combine forces to defeat Odin in its climactic boss fight. And the crucial moment here was when Atreus used his Jotnar magic to whisper Odin's soul into one of the soul marbles he had collected, finally answering the mystery from the mural in the 2018 God of War ending. The mural showed Atreus cradling a man, which swirls connecting them, and everyone initially thought that this depicted Kratos' death. However, it was just Atreus trapping the soul of Odin. Sindri then destroyed the marble, killing Odin permanently. After escaping Asgard's destruction, with Freya sacrificing himself, Atreus said his goodbyes to the cast, including Kratos. This ending deliberately leaves Kratos' futures open, with the Norse saga concluded but his story far from over. Now, looking at the Valhalla DLC, which provided crucial setup for God of War 6, there's almost a true sense of inner peace that Kratos has made with himself and who he is. This character development is essential moving forward. Kratos is no longer the rage-fueled god killer from the Greek era, nor is he the reluctant father learning to connect with his son from the early Norse games. At the end of Valhalla, Kratos has achieved a level of self-acceptance that fundamentally changes how he might approach a new mythology. He's not running from his past or being driven by vengeance. This makes the question of what draws him to Egypt all the more intriguing. Now, let's look at the development status of God of War 6 and the project timeline. So who's leading God of War 6? Well, God of War 6 has likely been in development for several years now, with work beginning around the release of God of War Ragnarok and the Valhalla DLC. According to several reports, planning for God of War 6 started even before Ragnarok launch. Cory Barlog is reportedly returning as the main director of the game, according to Jason Schreier. Cory Barlog is not working on a sci-fi game, and it's not a new IP, although it is Sony Santa Monica's next big thing, likely a continuation of an existing IP, although it might feel like a new one. Cory Barlog's last directed project was God of War 2018. While he assisted with Ragnarok, Eric Williams served as the game director for that entry. God of War 6 will be Barlog's first full production since launching the Norse saga, bringing the franchise full circle as he tackles what will likely be another soft reboot. Sony Santa Monica also posted 2 job listings for a new unannounced title, and both job descriptions stated that the knowledge of competitive product as well as personal understanding of God of War games would be beneficial, essentially confirming that the studio is working on a new God of War entry. These listings appeared for a quest designer and a senior technical local narrative designer, suggesting the game is in active development with narrative and gameplay systems being built out. However, there are a few projects that could be affecting maybe slightly God of War 6's production. The first being a God of War 2.5D Metroidvania game with Deimos, Kratos' brother, as the main protagonist, which was likely supposed to release in 2025 but now has been delayed to 2026. Now, Sony Santa Monica is assisting with this project but are not the developers behind it. However, according to Jeff Grubb, the game has been delayed to 2026 and apparently has significant implications for God of War 6's release window, as the whole point of greenlighting a smaller spin-off is to hold off fans over between major installments. Now, if the Metroidvania released in 2026, it suggests that Sony doesn't expect God of War 6 until at least 2028 or later. There's also the Amazon series, which is going to be a huge production retelling the story of God of War 2018, and it seems that some of the game developers, perhaps Cory Barlog himself, will likely also be producers of this show to make sure it attains all of its narrative threads. Now, Bluepoint Games was also working on a cancelled God of War online game, which may have had some Sony Santa Monica developers also assisting and maybe even helping with the project, which could have also affected the next mainline God of War game. Now let's go into the gameplay of God of War 6, as there seemingly will be a new combat systems with the new weapon, the Khopesh. As of course, with this new Egyptian sword, God of War 6 will introduce a fundamentally different combat style. Curved Egyptian sword offers unique possibilities, faster, more fluid strikes compared to the Leviathan axe, deliberate weightiness, while maintaining more control than the Blades of Chaos's wild rage. The question remains whether Kratos will keep his other weapons. Personally, having all three signature weapons like the Blade of Chaos, Leviathan axe and the Khopesh, and even that spear that he had in Ragnarok, would create incredible combat variety. There's also the potential of this game being an open world game, as God of War Ragnarok had much larger areas to explore than God of War 2018, and the next evolution of that would seemingly be going open world. And again, because this is a soft reboot of the franchise again, being an open world game now would be a really cool evolution of the franchise and really make it feel completely different to the Norse Saga games. There's also the Atreus factor, whether he will return in God of War 6 or will Sony finally give him the spin-off we all expected him to have after Ragnarok, as they did give him his unique combat system, which I don't think they would let go to waste, and rather create a Miles Morales level spin-off, then follow Atreus' story and becoming a new huge IP for Sony with the god of mischief himself, Loki. It would be really cool to see Atreus descend into madness and then try to get to grips with his Lokiness, but it's likely that this story will come after God of War 6, if not integrated within God of War 6. It seems that there are huge plans for God of War 6 and it is coming and it will be an Egyptian setting, but it seems like we are a while away. It's likely going to release in 2028 alongside the release of the PlayStation 6. Don't worry, because it's likely that this will be a cross-gen game as they did with God of War Ragnarok, and the fact that the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 6 generation will be more interconnected than previous generations. But if you want to watch a full breakdown of all the God of War projects that are coming, go ahead and watch my God of War pipeline video in the description and pinned comment section below. And guys, I wanted to announce the Witch Hunt collection, which is going to be the first collection that will be available on the Balboa Club store when it launches. This specific collection is inspired by the Witcher series and the dark fantasy genre. This is a brand that I've really wanted to make for a long time. I didn't just want to make merch, but I wanted to make something special, something that mixes the really cool designs of the wrestling world with the things that we love the most, video games. And of course, the first design had to be inspired by my favorite game of all time, The Witcher 3. So this is something special that I've created for you. I want you to join the club, and I will announce when the store is about to launch through this channel. Now we're even going to TikTok and Instagram. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out, God bless, and join the Balboa Club today. Bye bye.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.